morning.
Good morning.
In the name of Jesus Christ, welcome to this morning's worship service. God and all God's humors decided to extend winter for at least another 2 weeks. So I'm glad everyone is here, and we'll rejoice and be glad in this good day. We have a few announcements, of course, that we'd like to draw to your attention, and a couple of those of you who would like to send condolences to Del Searle's family would be really encouraged to do that. And what we'll do when we can is we will have a card that we'll pass around so that everyone can sign that as well. So please consider that. I would ask also that a reminder that we have the Easter lilies sign up in the narthex, and it's very inexpensive, $8 a lily, and so you can begin doing that. Also, there might be one token left. I'm not even sure if there is, but there might be one or two. And I think there are still a few more of the Lenten reflections from C.S. Lewis, and those of you I know who are engaged with this is pretty astonishing. This is pretty amazing stuff. And so even if you haven't started on it, I would encourage you to begin re-examining what Lewis has to say and enjoying that very much. I'd like to draw to your attention that I think Suhail and your beloved are on their way as we speak to, that's Fatty, of course, on their way to Lebanon right now. Lebanon is in turmoil and, well, problems. And so Fatty and Suhail are going to see their mother and father for about a week or something like that. And so we will be praying for them, as well as all the good people in the Middle East and all the members of this of this church who are in harm's way at this time. We don't want to diminish that seriousness, and we want to lift everybody up. This is very serious. This is not casual. Also, I'd like to draw to your attention, we've been praying for a friend of the Heitings, Herman, in Germany, and he has taken a turn for the worse, and we'll want to lift him up again in prayer in just a little bit. Are there any other announcements that we need to make? Yes, Mr. Pease.
I have two. The first is in your bulletin this morning. The last hymn has the wrong number.
Okay.
I think it should be 447.
447, okay.
And I also want to say that Sun Young Park is with us today, and she is having her Master of Fine Arts thesis exhibit on the 30th, which is this week. And I'll have these cards. It's called Forget-Me-Nots.
Good.
And I'll have these cards down at the script table if you want to get more information about her exhibit.
Thank you very much. Are there any other announcements that need to be made? John Swanson, do you have a minute for mission for us to enjoy?
Good morning. I'd like to just take a minute or two to call your attention to one of the 4 special offerings of the year that will be coming up on Easter Sunday. This one is called One Great Hour of Sharing. And the three main programs that the Presbyterian Church of the United States sponsor through the gifts from this program are disaster relief, hunger assistance, and the self-development of people. Self-development of people is a program that teaches people in inner cities, poverty, who have no education, how to do things, to grow, to sow, to make their lives more self-sufficient. Disaster relief is pretty self-explanatory, I think. And last year, this program, the gifts from One Great Hour of Sharing, helped the 2 major earthquakes in Haiti and Chile, and also provided assistance for the Gulf oil spill victims. Probably of the 3 programs, none more than the hunger assistance puts a spotlight on inequalities in this world. Just in the last year, for example, the prices of commodities, staples, have gone up astronomically. Sugar, 60%, corn, 52%, and wheat 24%, I believe. Now, when that happens, we see little price increases in the stores, and we feel a little pinch. But we as Americans, on average, spend about 8% of our total disposable income on food. If you're one of the 44 million people in emerging countries who spend, say, 60 to 70% of your total income on food, and then you have these price rises, virtually all of your income then becomes part of your food budget. It spotlights the inequalities, and the gap really is widening between those who have enough and those don't. So I urge you to think about this when Easter rolls around. It's in your Reaching Up, there's a little article, and you'll be seeing flyers in your bulletins for the next several Sundays. Thank you.
God is here, let him worship him. Seek ye the Lord while he may be found. Call ye upon him while he is near. Let the wicked forsake his way, and the unrighteous man his thoughts. And let him return unto the Lord, and he will have mercy upon him. And to our God, for he will abundantly pardon. Let us all join in singing together, opening hymn, Earth and All Stars, number 458 in your hymnal.
Do we have any youngsters here today? Jesus loves the little children, all the children of the world. Red and yellow, black and white, they are precious in His sight. Jesus loves the little children of the world. Ah, the little children of the world. How are you today? Would you rather I step here, Noah, or would you rather I go down there, huh? What would be best for you? For me to come down. Well, I'm going to. I'm trying to see if I'm trying to get your books out because we're going to sing again in just a second. Okay? Oh, it's my favorite. He is exalted. All right. Unity, how are you? Are you okay today? Are you quiet today? Are you sad today? Are you going to go snowmobiling today? Logan, how are you? I missed you. Where have you been? Downstairs?
No, we have been upstairs and you want I could go to the ocean king the butterfly
And the other Logan, how are you? You're good? Great. How about you, baby girl? You all right? Yes. Well, I'm glad about that. Does your dolly have a name? No? Okay. I want to ask you a question. You ever heard the word peace? What's the opposite of peace? You think war is the opposite of peace? I'm not so sure about that, but we'll go with that. Well, what is war anyway? When you fight. Is it something that makes you happy? No, I don't think so. Is it something you like to do? Well, sometimes, unfortunately, some people don't encourage you. Do you ever fight at home? Who wins? You're the biggest now, aren't you? Do you win all the time now? Is Alexander still kind of bigger than you? Well, there you are. I didn't even see you there. Are you the toughest guy on the block? Not yet. Okay. All right, so we have fights. You ever get in any fights? Do you get in a fight with your sister?
Well, I know, but I find it good fighting with bad guys. I tackled Julio, he tackled Julio.
You tackle Julio. Yeah, but he only weighs about 2 pounds. That's big. Do you get in a fight with your brothers? No. Do you ever get angry with people? No. Well, that's nice. Okay, here's what I'm... Which would you rather be, happy or sad? Now, are you happy when you're fighting people? Who are your parents? I know. I know, I'd go, ah. All right. All right, we're going to sing He is Exalted. Who's going to stand up here with me? Who's going to stand up here?
I'm too tired.
You're too tired. Do you know the song He's Exalted? No? Do you know it? Who wants to stand up here with me and sing it? All right, nobody this time. Play through, please. Number 3, isn't it? Thank you, thank you. That was just a joy. Appreciate that very much. We turn now to our concerns of the church. In particular, in the Church Universal. Obviously, we need to think of the Heiting's friend in Germany, Hermann, who has taken a turn for the worse as he's been battling brain cancer. Are there any other people or concerns that we have that we need to lift up today? Betty Chipman, as a matter of fact, is home, and her operation was very successful, and the lab tests were very positive, positive in the good sense, and so she should be back with us within a couple weeks. We're very happy about that. Are there any other people that would, yes?
Travel mercies for my father. He's traveling back from Europe on Tuesday.
All right. Anyone else? Yes, Bob.
My sister lost her husband.
Oh, no. Well, that's sad. And on a happy note, and there still is happiness in this world, I should have done it earlier, but I do want to congratulate Bloomington South for winning the state championship. That's kind of exciting, even though we have a bunch of people from North who didn't think it was so exciting when I asked them earlier. And go Bulldogs, huh? Butler, so that's kind of exciting as well. That's, oh, that's right, and Washington won, so there's a lot of good in this world, and some sorrow, but we have confidence in Jesus Christ. It is serious. I do want to say this, and obviously Alejandro's here, but this is serious what's going on in Lebanon, and it's more than serious. And we need to be mindful of all of our friends in Lebanon, and we have quite a few that are in Lebanon. We have Mr. and Mrs. Hamati, who are in Tripoli, and of course we have Fuad Naida, Dr. and Mrs. Haddad in Beirut, and then of course we have Reem Deeb, who also is in harm's way. And what's going to happen, we just don't know. But it's very, very serious, and we know that it's very serious because we've been in constant conversation with people there, and it's very dangerous right now. So we want to be mindful of our friends who are there. Certainly want to continue our concerns for our good people and the good people in Japan, and the courage that they have in facing this very difficult situation. So these are some of the concerns that we have, and then we have our own serious concerns as well. So let us pray. Gracious and heavenly God, we have come to you, our hearts filled with joy, certainly, for some personal triumphs that our community has enjoyed, and for the coming of spring, however late, but nonetheless coming, for the advance of the flowers and the warm air, for the singing of the choir, great joy today, for the promises of an abundant life. We come just very, very happy about all of that. We come also this particular day mindful that friends of this fellowship have suffered recently. Bob Hamill's sister losing her husband. All of our friends in the Middle East who are in very serious danger right now. And we think of your servant, your friend Herman in Germany, who is wrestling with cancer. And we think of the members and friends of this fellowship whose health is not well. And so all of those people and all of those events, your shoulders are big enough to bear, and your hands are large enough to hold, and your voice is clear enough to call each one by name, and to tell all those involved not to be afraid, because you're with them. There is no fear in love, and there is no fear for those who love God. And while there are times for concern, there is not time for fear. And while there is time for being alert, there is not time for fear. And while there is time for care, there is no time for fear. And so we would ask that all of our friends would be surrounded by this mantle and of love that we put upon them, and that they would be wrapped in that, and that they would not be afraid, but rather what they would do is enjoy your comfort. Even as your servant and your friend Jim McCartney is enjoying your comfort as he continues to get better, even as your friend Virginia McCartney continues to get well. Even as so many members of this fellowship who have been beset with very serious illnesses are getting better, because they have been wrapped in your love and they do not fear. We ask that you be with your servants and your friends, Suhail and Fatty, as they enter harm's way. We ask that they minister tenderly to their parents and in-laws, and that they not be afraid, and that you would bring them back to us safely. We ask a blessing upon all of our friends in the Middle East, from Doris, of course, in Jerusalem, to all of our friends in Lebanon, all of our friends. Gracious and heavenly God, this is not a safe world, but we are safe in you. This is a dangerous world, but we find no fear in thee. What we find, for those of us who walk with thee, is joy, and a realistic joy. With that, we ask for travel mercies for Garrett and the boys when they come back, and the students as they keep returning. We ask travel mercies and for Dell as he continues his amazing journey in your kingdom and discovering all sorts of things right now. We're happy for him. We're happy for him. Blessings upon this fellowship, and we would ask that you would abide with each and every one of us. And now listen to this, our prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. Thank you. We continue now with the sharing of our tithes and our offerings.